Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. Please ignore any grease stains you might see on my shirt. I was frying chicken before I came out here. But today I want to talk about something that's not heavy. You know, sometimes we have to talk about some stuff on here that's, not exactly uplifting. Although I try to keep my channel mostly positive. I try to talk about the good things that are happening in the gun community because it mostly is good. But, sometimes we get tired of talking about laws and legal stuff, etc. So today I want to do something people have been asking me to do for a while, and that's do some top 5 lists. So I'm going to do one of those today. And today's top 5 list is going to be based on a question I got from a viewer the other day saying, hey, I know you don't like polymer guns, which is true, not a polymer gun fan, but if tomorrow you were told you have to choose a polymer gun, what would be the top 5 polymer guns you would choose for concealed carry? So today I'm going to do a list of top 5 polymer guns that I would actually carry. All right, at number 5, we have a gun that might surprise people that it's on this list because it's not a gun you hear a lot about, but it is the Tang Folio Witness P, the Polymer Tang Folio Witness. And I'll tell you right now why I would carry this gun, and it is a carry model, which means it's got the smaller compact size slide and a full size grip, so therefore you get full capacity on it. But I'll tell you why I would carry this gun, because it's a fairly decent gun. It's interesting looking. It's got a lot of nice features to it. It's double action, single action, has a decocker safety on it. But the main reason I would choose this one is it's one of the few polymer carry guns, especially double action, single action polymer carry guns in 10 millimeter. And that there alone is why this gun, the Tang Folio Witness P, is number 5 on my list. All right, now number 4 on the list is another gun that might surprise people because it's in 45 ACP, or AARP as a lot of people like to call it. And it is the HK45. Not only is this a good, reliable gun, this is also a beautiful gun. If you've ever seen the H&K polymer guns, they are awesome. Now this gun is double action, single action, hammer fired gun with a safety decocker. But for me to carry this gun, I do have one caveat. I would also buy, and I think it's like $15, the indent plate for it to convert it to decocker only. Because this gun set up with a hammer fired gun, decocker only, that would be awesome. So that right there would be number 4 on my list. All right, at number 3 on the list, another HK, but this time it's the HK USP, and I would want it in 40 caliber. Now the USP is an awesome gun. It's one of the guns HK is most known for. It's probably one of their most prolific guns, especially before the P30s came along. So this is just a great choice. And like I say, I would want this in 40 Smith & Wesson. And another caveat on this gun, much like the 45, is I would want the indent kit that turns it into decocker only. So it would be hammer fired, double action, single action with a decocker only, no manual safety. And then I think this would be another awesome carry gun because like I say, H&K makes probably the best polymer guns out there. Now I know that's not saying a lot when you put the polymer qualifier in there. It's like saying, nicest guy in prison, like Jim Cornette is fond of saying. But still, H&K polymer guns, as far as polymer guns go, are pretty much top of the shelf as far as I'm concerned. So this one right here, the H&K, like I said, the USP, probably their most prolific gun and the one they're most known for, that would be number 3 on my list. All right, now at number 2 on the list is, surprise, this is getting monotonous, another HK. Like I said, they make the best polymer guns. And in this case, it would be the HK P30. But specifically the HK P30 version 3, the V3. Because that gun doesn't have a manual safety. It's a double action, single action, hammer-fired gun that has a decocker only. And the decocker is actually a very cool design. It's on the back of the gun. It's where you can just tap it with your thumb on the back of the gun, much like the P2000 SKs have. Just an awesome design. I've always liked H&K, or HK, as I have to get used to calling them since they changed it. The HK guns, one of the things I've always liked about them is their designs that use that rear decocker. So that right there, the P30 from H&K, that grip, the way you can change out side panels, back panels, that's one of the main reasons I want this gun. And once again, I'd want this one in 40. But that gun with those interchangeable panels that are super comfortable, they were some of the ones that really brought those really comfortable grips. Them and Walther were really responsible for that design of grip that is really nice. And, you know, you add that to their quality and that decocking feature, no safety. This right here is easily number 2 on my list. All right, now we're to number 1 on the list. And it's another HK. No, just kidding. It's actually a Beretta. It's the Beretta PX4 Storm in 40 Smith & Wesson. Now, if I had my druthers, I'd get a hold of one of the Langdon tactical ones, but finding one of those is like pulling teeth these days. So I guess I'd have to settle for a regular one, unless I could find the Langdon one. But even a regular PX4 Storm full size in 40 is an awesome gun. Double action, single action, hammer fired gun, great ergonomics, rotating barrel. So a unique design there that helps absorb recoil. Doesn't give you quite as much flip on the gun. That's a great feature on it. Also, to turn it into decocker only, all you have to do is remove a spring. You just take the safety levers off, pull a little spring and a little ball bearing out, put it back together. You'll never know the difference, except now it'll be decocker only. And it is an amazing gun. 40 Smith & Wesson, love the design, like the looks of it. It's a wonderfully accurate and reliable gun. And I love Berettas and that styling. So number 1 on my list is the Beretta PX4 Storm. So there you have my list. I think you might notice a trend. One, a lot of HKs on there because, like I said, HK makes some of the best polymer guns. Another trend you might notice, double action, single action, because I'm sorry, if I have to carry a polymer gun, I don't want striker. I'm not the biggest striker fired fan. I have some striker fired guns and I'm okay with them, but I much prefer double action, single action. I don't think that is catching anybody off guard there. The other thing that you might notice about all these guns is they're not in 9mm. Now you might be thinking, oh, he's slamming 9mm. No, I'm not slamming 9mm. I have lots of 9mm guns, think they're very capable. But since these guns are polymer and they're lighter, well, it makes it much less likely that you'd be successful in beating someone to death with it if you had to. They're not the best guns for smacking a bitch up, if you know what I mean. So if it's not going to have weight and it's not going to have that impact power when you smack somebody with it, I at least want it to be in a real caliber. All right, everybody, now that we got the gun talk out of the way in the very first segment of the show here, I do want to say one thing here. Along the lines of how we conduct ourselves in the Second Amendment community. Now, I know a lot of people love to play semantics games, and it's not just the left, it's the right too. Such as in the gun community when you say, my firearm is a weapon, my weapon of choice. And people get, it's not a weapon, it's a tool. I'm like, no, it's a weapon. It was designed to destroy what you pointed at. It's a weapon. But they want to play that game of, oh, it's not a weapon, it's a tool. That way you can't assign blame to it. Well, you can't assign blame to an inanimate object anyway. But I do want to talk about something today, as some of the terminology we do use, and a word we should never use again, and that is confiscation. Because we talk a lot of time how registration leads to confiscation, and I think we use the word confiscation because it rhymes with registration. But here's the thing about the word confiscation. It basically, by definition, requires that the act be legal and done by proper authorities in a proper way. To confiscate something is to have a just legal authority seize property in a legal manner. So that word doesn't apply. Because in these places like California, San Jose, where they're trying to create registries so that they can go seize your guns when you don't pay your insurance bill, that's not confiscation. There's nothing legal about that. Anytime the government infringes on gun rights or removes guns from a legal gun owner, that's not confiscation, it's theft. And we need to keep calling it theft. Don't let politicians call it confiscation, because when you call it that, it makes people outside the argument think, well, they must have done something wrong to get their stuff seized. No, it's government theft of property. That's what it needs to be referred to as. So even though it doesn't rhyme, it should be registration leads to theft. And I don't think theftification is a word. If it is, maybe we can start using that one. That would rhyme. But like I said, we need to stop calling it confiscation. We need to quit letting politicians get away with that, because what it is a gross violation of our rights. It is not a legal act. It is theft, pure and simple. All right, everybody, I want to end the show today with our pet rescue of the day. And today we've got a list of names here I'm going to have to read. So I'm going to have to look at my list here just to get all of them. All right, first we've got Boots. And then we have Cinder. Cinder, a very pretty kitty there, I'll have to say. Then we have Coco, who I couldn't understand why an orange kitty's named Coco until I realized it was spelled C-O-C-O, so I'm thinking it might be a Conan O'Brien reference because, you know, redheaded. Then we have Goblin. Goblin looks like she's over it. Goblin looks like how I feel most days. Just say that right now. She's looking at it like, fuck you. That is a fuck you look if I ever saw one. Then we have Cricket, and I will say Cricket reminds me a lot of Django. Not exactly, but there's just a lot of features there, the eyes, and it looks like Cricket might be a little heavy, so reminds me a lot of Django. And then we have Kiona. Now, pretty much all these animals, except for one, was rescued as an adult, and they've lived for several years with David C. David C. is the person who adopted all these. And I know what you're saying, 6 pets. That's absolutely crazy. This person's mental. And I agree. Yeah, that is crazy. See, I've only got 5. 3 dogs, 2 cats. He's got 2 dogs, 4 cats. Mine probably way more altogether, but I have less. And so while 5 is a perfectly sane and normal number, as far as I'm concerned, 6 is clearly insane. So, he's a little bit crazy. But, if you're the kind of crazy that gives homes to pets where they're well cared for, I'm all for that kind of crazy. So if you've got a pet, remember, pets are pack animals. Especially dogs and even cats. They like to have other animals around during the day. They don't want to be alone, especially if you work and you leave them for long periods of time. I hate when I see people have 1 pet. Have 2, have 3, have 4. There's enough out there that could definitely use a home. So if you're someone who has to leave them alone, keep that in mind. I want to have a bunch of them. It's like having a big family. 3 dogs and 2 cats is quite a bit, especially when my dogs are all, 70 pounds, 95 pounds, and 100 pounds. But it's worth it. It's awesome to have that many loving animals. They form their own little pack. They take care of the property. They watch out for us. It's just great to have them around, and it's great for them to have each other as friends. So that's why I wanted to say congratulations to Boots, Cinder, Coco, Goblin, Cricket, Kiona on finding their forever home. And thank you to David C. for being the right kind of crazy to give these people, these little puppies and kitties here, these animals, I should say, although I think they're better than people. It's kind of an insult to call them people. But I wanted to say thank you for David C. for being the right kind of crazy to spread the love to these animals in need. All right, everybody, that's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you come back again tomorrow. Until then, I'm going to sign off, as usual, by saying, as far as the state of the world today is concerned, it is what it is. It could be a lot worse, trust me. But it could still tend to be better, too. And if we start to fight smart and hard for our rights in this country, and we start realizing that there's a lot of people out there pretending to be on our side, that are really only on their own side, and they're fighting for their own financial bottom line and the financial bottom line of the gun industry, not the gun community, and we start ignoring those fear-mongers and profiteers, etc., what things will be in the very near future for people that love the Second Amendment and freedom in general is better. I am a grown-ass man.